Namaskar and welcome to Special Report. I'm your host Bhavna Nayyar. India is leading the global discourse on climate change by setting actionable targets to tackle the crisis. At the conference of the party's 26th summit held recently in Glasgow, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a blueprint to tackle the issue. Setting a net zero carbon emission targets by the year 2070, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced this initiative called Panchamrit. Our special report today will assess the challenges India faces in climate change and efforts it is bringing on to become the green economy.
क्लाइमेट चेंज पर इस वैश्विक मंथन के बीच मैं भारत की ओर से इस चुनौती से निपटने के लिए 5 अमृत तत्व रखना चाहता हूं। पंचामृत की सौगात देना चाहता हूं। पहला, भारत 2030 तक अपनी नॉन फोसिल एनर्जी कैपेसिटी को 500 गीगावाट तक पहुंचाएगा। दूसरा, भारत 2030 तक अपनी 50% एनर्जी रिक्वायरमेंट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी से पूरी करेगा। तीसरा, भारत अब से लेकर 2030 तक के कुल प्रोजेक्टेड कार्बन एमिशन में 1 बिलियन टन की कमी करेगा। चौथा, 2030 तक भारत अपनी अर्थव्यवस्था की कार्बन इंटेंसिटी को 45% से भी कम करेगा। और पांचवा, वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा।
Panchamrit, or the 5 elements in the nectar of immortality, is the name that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has chosen for India's action plan to mitigate climate change at the COP26 Glasgow summit. Climate activists have welcomed the goals set down by Prime Minister Modi.
Well, we have to recognize that what the Prime Minister has laid out is a vision for the long term, backed up by strong near-term actions. 2070 is 50 years away. And some might argue, who knows what will happen in 50 years. But the only way to predict the future is to shape it, which means the actions we take today, the actions we take in this decade will begin to set the trend for how we get to net zero by 2070.
Unexpected rainfall, unprecedented floods, heat waves, wildfires, hurricanes, melting ice, rising seas. This new normal of our times is the irrefutable product of climate change. It is proof that the cost for human existence will not only escalate but eventually be fatal for Mother Earth as we know her.
Our addiction to fossil fuels is pushing humanity to the brink. We face a stark choice. Either we stop it or it stops us. And it's time to say enough. Enough of brutalizing biodiversity. Enough of killing ourselves with carbon. Enough of treating nature like a toilet. Enough of burning and drilling and mining our way deeper. We are digging our own graves.
Climate change is caused by global temperatures rising due to the sun's heat trapped in the Earth's atmosphere by greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane. A UN report on global warming caused by these greenhouse gas emissions says carbon dioxide emissions that dropped by 5.4% during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 will soon bounce back to pre-COVID levels. Global temperatures will rise to 2.7 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Further, while an increase of 33% more emissions will raise global temperatures by 2 degrees Celsius. A 55% increase will lead to a rise of 1.5 degrees Celsius.
India's commitment on the net zero carbon emission caught the imagination of the world at the Glasgow summit. While they imply that India will drastically cut down its dependence on the fossil fuels by the year 2070, the road to achieving these objectives will need strategic planning.
The Glasgow summit is the first time when India set a climate target in terms of absolute emissions. While climate change is not a switch on and off button, scientists have given the solution of net zero emissions or total carbon neutrality. When all gas, oil and coal expansion stops and the nation moves towards renewable energy sources. This, however, does not mean that country will bring down its emissions to zero. Instead, it indicates a balance where the greenhouse gas emissions that produced are removed from the atmosphere through natural means or by using the still nascent carbon capture technology. The Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, IPCC, estimates that the world must reach net zero carbon emissions by mid-century and net zero across all greenhouse gases by 2070. But India's own 2070 date for net zero emissions is 20 years later than the 2050 pledged by the UK and the US. China, Russia and Saudi Arabia have chosen the year 2060, while Nepal and Thailand have set carbon neutrality targets for 2045 and 2050 respectively. But experts are confident that India has set a realistic timeline to reach net zero by 2070.
Prime Minister has taken the decision that we have to be zero tolerance on carbon, and he has given the deadline. So it is good. But he has taken the roadmap also. That it doesn't mean that tomorrow we have to do this. So the priorities, and we will do this. In Panchamrit, there is a clause that we will do it because we have already started a lot of schemes. So you cannot impose, it will be neo-colonialism if you do it in your own way. You have to give money. That doesn't mean that you will control our projects. So I think Prime Minister has given the deadline, and I think it's completely in the right direction.
India is already witnessing worst effects of climate change. Climate trends in India, coupled with development imperatives, are multiplying risk and vulnerability. Now that the commitments are made, the question is what will be the path of India that it will follow to become the green economy by 2030.
India is already experiencing the consequences of a 1 degree Celsius rise in global temperatures. A nation of 1.3 billion people is witnessing all the ill effects of climate change. Heat waves are becoming more severe and commonplace. Heavy rain events have increased and total precipitation is declining. Crores of people in India are facing severe water scarcity, while rising sea levels are threatening the lives of a third of India's coastal population. Low-income and marginalized groups are most hit by climate change. It is feared that rising temperatures may actually reverse the development gains of recent decades.
What this means is that whether it's in the tropical regions, whether it is near the polar regions, no one can escape anymore. We have this year alone seen extreme flooding in Maharashtra, Himachal, even in Germany, Rhineland, in Westphalia, in Belgium. Hundreds have died in Henan in China. Many have died because of heat wave in British Columbia. We have forest fires in Siberia. So the climate is changing. We are doing things to the planet, but what the planet will do to us will be worse.
The fact remains that India accounts for 17% of the world's population, while it is responsible for only 5% of global emissions. According to the Global Carbon Project Report 2021, China's carbon emissions amount to 2,912 million tons per year. The United States emits 1,286 million tons, while India sends 666 million tons of carbon into the atmosphere every year. In order to reduce its carbon footprint, India has initiated a number of policies. From setting actionable goals on the use of hydrogen-based tech, it is promoting electrical vehicles, renewable energy sources, and encouraging industry decarbonization. Some of the wide-ranging steps include reducing the carbon footprint of the Indian Railways by following a multi-pronged approach to make it net zero by 2030. This includes sourcing renewable energy to electrify its traction network. Between 2005 and 2016, the nation cut down its emission intensity in GDP by 24%. 350 million LED bulbs have been distributed free or subsidized to cut down electricity consumption. 110 million new toilets have been built under the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan to eliminate open defecation, while single-use plastic is banned from August 2022. Both steps aimed at cutting down soil and water pollution. While forest and tree cover has been increased by 1.3 million between the 2015 and 2019, the changes of land use to protect forest and tree cover has eliminated 15% of country's carbon dioxide emissions in 2016. India has positioned itself as one of the 3 renewable energy producers with solar farms. The country has announced no new coal-fired power plant in the past 1 year. The National Thermal Power Corporation announced 32 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2032.
भारत ने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर दुनिया का सहयोग करने के लिए इंस्टीट्यूशनल सॉल्यूशन भी दिए हैं। सोलर पावर में एक क्रांतिकारी कदम के रूप में हमने इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस की पहल की। क्लाइमेट एडप्शन के लिए हमने कोलिशन फॉर डिजास्टर रेजिलिएंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का निर्माण किया है। ये करोड़ों जिंदगियों को बचाने के लिए एक संवेदनशील और महत्वपूर्ण पहल है।
All the pollutants, this carbon, this green gas is the most dominant reason of this global warming and all this climate change.
In order to meet its climate change objectives, the government is implementing the National Action Plan on Climate Change. It includes 8 missions: National Solar Mission, National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency, National Water Mission, National Mission on Sustainable Habitat, National Mission on Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem, National Green India Mission, National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, and National Mission on Strategic Knowledge on Climate Change. At the state level, state action plans on climate change have outlined sector-specific and cross-sectoral priority actions. The National Adaptation Fund for Climate Change (NAFCC) has initiated 29 projects in agriculture, water, forestry in vulnerable areas in 27 states and union territories. The National Hydrogen Mission has embarked Rs 25 crore in the union budget for research on producing 3/4 of the India's hydrogen needs from renewable resources by 2050. The government has strategized for Mission 2030 and also 2070. Estimating India's energy mix for 2030, India's Central Electricity Authority (CEA) finds that India's power requirements will touch 2,518 billion units by 2030. While at present, India is getting 40% of its energy from renewable sources. By 2030, this figure will reach 50%. In order to achieve 522 gigawatt from non-fossil energy sources at present, India is targeting 280 gigawatt from solar energy and 140 gigawatt through wind energy. Energy produced from renewables will be scaled up to 700 gigawatt by 2030, making India the fourth country to achieve such a quantum. CEEW CEO Dr. Ghosh calls the process a breathless marathon.
Every working hour from now until 2030, for the next 9 years, every working hour, 6 days a week, 52 weeks a year, we will have to deploy 10.5 megawatts of renewables. So during the course of this interview, we should have deployed about 3 to 4 megawatts of renewables. So it has to be a breathless marathon towards this target.
India is also committing to restrict its coal-based energy by the end of this decade. While 60 gigawatt of coal thermal power is under construction, the government has said that it will not invest in coal anymore.
India's energy requirements cannot be achieved without overcoming challenges. Primarily among them is climate finance. India's climate commitments are directly connected to the availability of the climate funds and the technology transfer.
CEEW estimates that net zero transition will cost India between $9,400 billion to $14,000 billion between 2030 and 2100. Niti Aayog feels that mitigation activities for moderate low carbon development will cost around $834 billion till 2030. At COP26, Prime Minister Modi sought $1 trillion in climate finance from developed nations. Although the fact remains that developed nations have not kept their promise of spending $100 billion each year by 2020 to help developing countries fight climate change.
फ्रेंड्स, ये सच्चाई हम सभी जानते हैं कि क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस को लेकर आज तक किए गए वायदे खोखले ही साबित हुए हैं। जब हम सभी क्लाइमेट एक्शन पर अपने एम्बिशन बढ़ा रहे हैं, तब क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस पर विश्व के एम्बिशन वही नहीं रह सकते जो पेरिस एग्रीमेंट के समय थे।
On those projects where we have already spent, why should we spend on that project? So there should be an indigenous Indian sovereign methodology on these climate issues. You should give the money for the developing countries.
What, however, remains undeniable is that India's climate commitments have changed the global discourse on climate. For the nation, the journey of becoming a green economy has already taken shape. India's leap towards renewable sources of energy has signaled that there is no time to lose on climate protection.
India has shown its commitment by finding new ways to fulfill its energy requirements that is in tune with the new climate change goals. Immediate and drastic steps are the need of the hour to reduce global carbon emissions. And in this endeavour, from local communities, NGOs, governments and other stakeholders have to come together to do their bit. That's all we have in this edition of Special Report. Do let us know your feedback on our social media platforms. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Namaskar.